Okay, brilliant. Okay, thanks for coming, folks. This is the second of our webinars all about Super Simple Box Office. We'll recap a little bit, but if you didn't see the first one, you might need a bit of catching up to do, in which case it's on the website, and I'm sure Holly can sort you out with a link to that. So what we're going to look at today is some of the more advanced things you can do, building more detailed special offers, things like membership schemes, selling merchandise, or add-ons as we call them, and yeah, managing customers and things like that. So I'll just quickly do a little recap. So for those of you who don't know, Eventotron is a system which combines tens of thousands of artists worldwide and venue managers and festival managers. Everyone puts their information into Eventotron, and then a festival manager can use all the information in there to do loads of different stuff, like make brochures, run reports, front of house tools. Today, we're mostly focusing on how Eventotron talks to your website. One of the key things about Super Simple Box Office is it's built into Eventotron, and it stops this situation you see here, where you've got loads of different websites, a different box office, and a reporting website, all trying to talk to each other, and you end up with a much simpler situation where Eventotron talks to your website, and your website talks to your customers. A quick summary of the WordPress plugin, which we'll be using today. This is the easiest way to get Super Simple Box Office onto your website. We covered this in the last webinar, but I'm just showing you here the different functions and the way it can look very different depending on how you customize it.
So we talked about that as well, but that was sort of like a question.
We've got someone mute themselves. I think we've got someone. Sorry, I've got someone coming through my ear. Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, so calendars, different listing styles, all looks good on mobile, etc. Okay, so we'll just quickly run through putting a seasonal sale, show how quick it is, but we'll also look, while we do this, we'll take a first look at how the merchandising works, because we'll show you how to get that onto the website as well. So it's in the box office, Super Simple Box Office tab. It's called add-ons. That's where all your merch sits. It's where you basically anything you sell to a customer that's not a ticket. So that could be something like a t-shirt. You'll see you have merchandise items, and then merchandise has SKUs. So a t-shirt might have a black SKU and it might have a red SKU. And we'll show you how that all pulls through to the website in a very similar way to how you deal with shows. We'll come back to this page quite a lot because most things that we do will include an add-on or merch element to them. But yeah, all we're doing now is just very quickly getting our festival up onto our website. So just to recap, you just need an API key. And then this is our little test website. And just show it's got nothing in it at the moment. Merchandise page that you might have seen before probably, but that's empty as well. So we just go to the back end of our website. We've installed our Eventotron plugin. We pop in our API key there. It's found our festival. You can see it's showing us some of that merchandise. First of all, let's just bring our shows in. As simple as that. Give it a little second. So that's our little festival on our website. I'm ready to sell tickets. Previous webinar, you can see that in more detail, but that's the basics. And we're just going to import some of those merchandise items that we saw in Eventotron previously. A random selection. Okay, so back on our website, see there's all our shows that have been pulled in. Ready to sell. I'm just showing you a very simple checkout flow at the moment. We're going to look at how we can build more stuff into this, like audience questions, donations, etc. But in the first place, it's very simple. Click a show, buy a ticket. And I think if we then go and look
This meeting is being recorded.
That's our merchandise. Again, with all this stuff, you're not really looking at what it looks like. That's something that you, working with your web designer, can make it look a bit prettier. But we're just showing you the kind of bare functionality here. So there's our t-shirts. There's our 2 types of t-shirt. There's our gift voucher that we made in add-ons. We'll go into this in more detail shortly. But again, really simple, just buy a gift voucher. Okay, so that's a really quick look at the merchandise bit in Eventotron. We're going to go into more detail now and just showing you how to get it onto the website. So how to pimp your checkout a little bit, audience questions, take donations, and do some upselling. So here's our website with our shows on. Again, at the moment, all you do is choose a number of tickets, put them in a basket, and buy them. It's working out booking fees, etc. for you. There to check out. All it wants is name and email address, but we'll show how we can add a bit more into that. Main list sign up, that's kind of built in from the start. Yeah, so that's basically the end of your checkout journey as a customer. So let's go and see how we add a bit more into that. So back in the Supers and Box Office tab, that's where you look at your booking fees. Basically, there's kind of 3 tiers. You can choose how much you charge for a booking fee for a free ticket, how much you pay for a regular tier, and if you have expensive tickets that you want a higher fee on, you can split that up into 2 tiers. You can also cap the fees now. That's quite a new thing. So if maybe you didn't want your booking fee to exceed £4, you could do that. Okay, so what we're going to look at now is just how you can prompt the user to give you a donation during the checkout. And this might be UK specific, but you can also put a little declaration in there, a little picture. So that works really well for gift aid in the UK. We'll show you that shortly. Next thing is this ticket splash screen. This is going to pop a little screen before people choose their tickets, and you can use that to maybe promote a membership scheme and send them off to that. Or in this case, we're just going to say, go and buy some merchandise. Yeah, so just a useful way to, if you want to tell your customer more about your booking process, or if you want to try and upsell a membership or something to them before they buy their tickets, you can do that here. So there's an option to put the button on there, and you can basically, that button can take you off wherever you want. In this case, we're going to say, take us to the merchandise page, but it might be take us to your friend's membership page or something like that. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do to get a bit more information out of our customers is put some questions into the checkout process. You might want this for demographic stuff. You might want to know how someone heard about the festival. You might want to collect any access requirements that a customer might have. And what's nice about this is there's an option at the bottom of there to display in the door tool. So that means if a customer answers this and says, I'm agoraphobic, please can I have an aisle seat? That information will be available to people on the door. And then questions like, how did you hear about us? There's going to be options rather than just let them fill in blank text. That's not the kind of thing you'd show to your front of house people, but you can pull it out later to do your audience research. And the last thing we're going to add to the checkout is we can actually, you saw how we imported the merchandise items before, and they have their own page. What you can actually do is prompt people to buy them as part of the checkout. So it's a little upsell. So in this case, we're going to try and sell them a mug, but we've seen people use it for things like ticket insurance or even a drinks voucher, something like that. So this is just a quite good example of how you would create a new piece of merchandise. So including the SSBO checkout flow, we're going to say, yes, that's what's going to make it pop up when someone checks out. And one nice feature is At the moment, that's going to show on any basket, but what you can do is only show it if someone's got tickets for a certain show in their basket. So maybe you're selling a script for a show, you can make it so that is highlighted at the end of the checkout process if someone's buying tickets for that particular show. So all merch items have to have at least one SKU. So to an extent, this will duplicate the information. But you can imagine if you were selling a red mug and a blue mug, you would have 3 different SKUs. Put in the price. One thing to note there is anything that you sell on your website, you can actually drop into your forms within Eventotron to sell to your participants. So maybe that's not that applicable to a mug, but if you are maybe selling advertising space in the run-up to your festival, and it was £200 to the local restaurant, but you're going to let the artist buy it 150, you can give them a different price and they would buy it within Eventotron, not on your website. So yeah, anything that you build here to sell your website, you can also insert into your forms if you want to. So we'll come back to some more of those options later on. But for now, that should be ready to go into our checkout flow. So let's have a look at how we change the checkout. So there's a little pop-up message. Again, you can make it look prettier, but just to prove the point at the moment. So say maybe later. There's our little mug upsell. So yeah, let's buy a mug. And it's prompting for a £5 donation as default, but the customer could turn it off, at which point they don't have to make the declaration, but there's their I'm a UK taxpayer for gift aid. You could use that for anything. It just happened to be a useful thing in the UK. Because we are selling physical merchandise, it's now asking for a address in the checkout, and you'll see when you try to proceed to payment, it's forcing you to enter in certain information, including that question about how you found out about us, because we said it was to be required. Okay, so that's how. So we've now built up our checkout to do upsells, to collect information about the audience, to try and get a donation out of them, and also to divert them to a different page if we wanted to. Okay. So next thing, we're just going to have a look. We didn't cover this in the previous one. One of the nice things about Eventotron is that a customer doesn't have to create an account as they go through the process. Some places will make them choose passwords and all that kind of thing. We don't make them do that for a really nice, clean checkout flow, but we do have accounts in the background and they are useful for certain things. So if you want to enable customer accounts, just go into the settings in the WordPress plugin, refresh that, and now we've got that login button there. So the customer can log in. In most cases, they won't have set a password, so they'll just get emailed a little code that they pop in instead. I think in this instance, yeah, I've already created a password for this account, but you can see below, if I'd forgotten it, I can easily get a code sent to my email. So the customer can log in. And I can now see as the customer that I'm a member with this festival, and there's my perks, discounts on Halfords. I can see I've got some reservations, and down below there I can see if I had any credit on my account. We'll show you shortly how you create all these things. And there's a history of the tickets that I bought were on my test account, so obviously there's loads there. One other thing you can do for accounts is you can put a prompt in the checkout for someone to log in. So if you are running membership schemes that rely on someone being logged in and you want to make sure they see that during the checkout process rather than having to go to the top of the screen, there's that little option there. So if we save that and go back to the website, you'll now see at any point during the checkout. So I'm just going to log out first. At any point during the checkout, there's that prompt at the top to log in. So that can happen when they're choosing tickets, the basket stage or the checkout stage, just to make sure that they get whatever perks they have on their account. So we'll show you in a couple of steps how you build things like that membership and credit on the customer's account. Before we do that, just have a very quick look at customer reports. This is back in Eventotron. It's difficult to show this in detail because obviously we can't show you a load of customer details. So we're in our example festival, which only has a couple of versions of Holly and myself probably buying tickets there. But just to show you what the kind of thing you can pull out, you've got tags on the end there, which we'll go into in more detail. You can go into a customer, see their contact details. You can see whether they've got any credit on their account. Again, my test account, so we're seeing lots of things there. See their ticket history and any add-ons or merchandise they bought. So you can run very detailed reports on your customers, so you can find out who bought them in a particular date range or for performances on a particular day. You can pull out those audience questions that we put in earlier to feature in your report. Reports are downloadable as a CSV at any time. Obviously, we don't try and hang on to that information. So if we just do that, you see we've got those questions coming through there. And obviously, you can run reports just on a select number of venues rather than across your whole festival. One nice thing is that you can also do customer reports across any festivals that you have in Eventotron. So if you've been using Eventotron for a few years, your audience isn't siloed into those individual festivals. You can look back over everyone and kind of see how many tickets they bought, who your big bookers are, that kind of thing. Now, tags have quite a few functions. One of them is simply just to keep track of certain customers. So we'll see in this case, I'm going to tag these two customers there as frequent bookers. So maybe that will show up in the front of house tool and maybe they get a badge or something, I don't know. But the other thing that tags do, they can entitle a customer who is tagged to access to certain benefits. That might be a special ticket, which we'll show you in a second. It could be they don't pay booking fees, which is an option down here. That's that bit of text that we saw in the customer account so that the customer can keep track of the benefits that they have. You can set whether a tag lasts forever or it's got a year time limit. We will add in more options. And one of the nice thing is that you can automatically tag customers based on the tickets they buy. So in this case, we're going to tag everyone who buys a ticket for a comedy, for a show whose genre is comedy. And you can hang that off any question in your forms. So when someone buys a ticket, they're automatically tagged. One other nice little trick about pulling out customer information is you can have all this available from your standard reports. So in that case, I wanted to find everyone who went to see a comedy show so that I can tag them with comedy, so I can then mail my comedy audience later on or something like that. I'm going to go to my reports. I'm going to find all my comedy shows. There they are. If I click on that and see the audience, that's everyone who's bought tickets for those shows, and I can then tag them straight from there or download them from there. So yeah, so if you're into sort of audience segmentation and things like that, there's lots of ways to do it, either automatically or through customer reports or through the normal reports. And just while we're here, so we've tagged those people as comedy. Can download it as a CSV or so on. And of course, save reports that I run regularly and even set up a schedule to send them out to me. While we're here, I'm just going to show you that as well as seeing the customer reports, you can see the sales reports in the same way. I don't think we looked at that last time. So that's just, there you go. There's a summary of all the tickets sold for my comedy shows. We looked specifically at the sales reports bit in the previous session, but I don't think I mentioned that you can pull out very specific shows and run sales reports or customer reports on them from within your standard events page. Okay, so next thing we'll look at is special tickets and basket offers. So we did look at this a little bit last time, particularly special tickets, but special tickets are key to building lots of different types of offers. So we're just going to do a little recap on how this works. So there's a fairly normal show. It's got no special tickets on it. It's just got a full price and a concession. Let's go back to Eventotron. In our box office tab, go to special tickets, and we'll start a new special ticket. We'll make this a group of 10 or more. Give it a code. You can give it a description if that helps the audience. You can change where on your list of tickets it shows up, depending on where the display order is. And the price adjustment here, we're going to charge them 80% of the full ticket price if they buy 10 or more tickets. You can adjust the booking fee on a set special ticket if you want, or leave it blank to just use your standard booking fees. And in here, we're going to say you have to buy 10 tickets to get access to this offer. I think that's all we need to do for this special ticket. So we'll save it. And really easy to apply to all the shows in the festival. If you wanted to, you could have filtered down then to just apply it to shows that are on Tuesdays or by genre or something like that. So we're going to make a second ticket type. Select maybe an offer that went out in a newspaper where the customers got the newspaper and there's a promo code printed in the newspaper and it gives them a certain discount. Again, you can change where it goes on the page. Price adjustment on this, I think let's say that this is a 2-for-1 offer. So if I have the promo code, my tickets will only cost 50%, but I have to buy them in multiples of 2. That's what we're saying there. So that's my mouse slipping. And this is a restricted offer, and you can only get it if you have a promo code. And we select the promo code was times. You can see there that you can restrict offers or special tickets to customers who are tagged. We'll come back to that in a bit. Again, really easy to add to all the shows. Save that again. And then we're going to look at basket offers as well, which I don't think we touched on last time. This is where if the price of a show changes depending on what's in the basket. So rather the previous one, it was just like if you put 10 tickets in, you get that price, or if you put the promo code in, you get that price. In this case, we're going to say if you put in 3 tickets from 3 different shows, you get £1 off each ticket. So £1 off. And again, easy to apply to all the events.
Okay, so let's see what those offers look like now from the customer side. So we'll buy tickets. And first of all, you'll see our group of 10. There were no restrictions on that, so it's there for everyone. But you can only get it, obviously, if you buy 10 or more tickets. And then if we look at our newspaper promo code offer, put in our promo code, and there we have that £5 ticket, and we set it so you can only buy in pairs. It's 2-for-1. So we'll just clear that, and then I'll show you how the multi-buy offer works. So in this case, we're going to add tickets for multiple shows, and that will give us £1 off each ticket. That's the offer we set up. So there's the first one in there. Now, in this case, we've applied it to all the shows in our little example festival, but you might find it's useful for where you've got an artist who's maybe presenting 3 shows and they want to do an offer for people who buy tickets for all of them. So we're just adding another ticket to our basket. This is an example of a show that has a seating plan, by the way. We'll talk about that in more detail later. Yeah, we'll just add a standard full price ticket to our basket. Got 2 shows, but the offer hasn't kicked in yet. So we'll add one more show. Just add that to the basket. And then we should see, yeah. So our £1 off each ticket has kicked in. We maybe could have given that a better description, but £1 off each ticket and the customer is notified there.
So passes now. This is something that comes up a lot with our Canadian clients, where they will sell a pass to like 5 shows for a discounted price, or 3 shows. So the example here, not Canada, America. This is a real life festival, obviously. And what San Diego offer is 3 types of pass. So 3 show pass, $27, 5 show pass, $42, 10 show pass, $22. I think all their tickets are $10. So you can see you make a saving there if you buy in advance. So again, that was set up as a add-on, but I'll just show you the process to creating that kind of offer. So it starts with special tickets. So you'll see they've got special tickets set up for 3 ticket pass, 5 ticket pass, etc. So that when someone comes to buy this ticket, it'll be free because they've already paid. So the price adjustment is adjusted down to 0. I don't think we need to change any other settings on this. So you'll see there, all those promo codes represent individual customers. Obviously, you don't have to put those in. We'll show you how those get generated automatically. So you've set up the special ticket and it's restricted to people with one of those promo codes, and it's applied to all the shows. So we go back, look at their add-on section and look at their passes. Obviously, just showing that in this section you can see all your sales very easily. But in their passes, in the setup for them, if you scroll down to the SKUs, those are 3 things that we saw on the website. And in the case of the 3 show pass, what makes this work is that when they buy it, just see at the bottom there, it creates a promo code for the 3 ticket pass special ticket, and it allows you to use it 3 times. So if a customer buys that from the website, they'll be emailed a promo code which can be used 3 times. And actually, promo codes have a benefit in that you can walk up to the counter and tell the counter operative as well what your promo code is, so it doesn't rely on having to log in or anything like that. So yeah, so if I go ahead and buy that, I will get a promo code I can use 3 times. Not actually going to do that now, but I can show you that if I had, here's what I prepared earlier. So I'm me, I don't have to be logged in to do this. Go to tickets, I know my promo code, which is specific to me. And now I have access, now I can use one of my 3 ticket passes for that. And just a little extra there, you can see that they're doing an upsell on their fringe tags. Again, I think that's quite a North America centric thing, but quite often they will have a tag that an audience member has to have to get access to a show. So that's a perfect thing for an upsell. And just to show that in customer reports, I can go and find my own account, have a look, and you'll see that, yeah, there's my 3 show pass. So if I need to dig out the promo code for a customer, I can from there. Okay. Next, membership and friend schemes. So this combines special tickets with tags and add-ons, similar to the way that we saw with the pass using a promo code. In this case, though, we're going to use tags rather than promo codes. Should say there are lots of different ways of doing different things. It's very flexible. It may be that your particular passes system is better done by tagging the people in the back end than it is with issuing a promo code. It might be that your friend scheme works better with a promo code. It's really flexible. It's combining the 3 or 4 bits It gives you lots of different ways to run different schemes. So we'll use Brighton Fringe as an example here. Their membership scheme is called their Friends scheme, and it has three different tiers, which gives people different benefits. It's on their website, so obviously Brighton using Citizen Box Office for the first time this year. Big client, 700 odd shows. They're running our WordPress plugin on their site, so that's handling most of this stuff that you see here. So let's use Silver membership as an example. The benefits of that are no booking fees, 2 for 1 on up to 10 shows. The way Brighton works is not every show is part of the offer. The shows opt in. That's how I would buy it. That's how I buy my membership. Let's have a look at how we actually set that up. So as with the passes before, the first thing is to set up your special ticket. So we're looking at what they've already done. So they've got a Silver Friend ticket. The information there. They've put it higher up the order of tickets for people. It's similar to the 2 for 1. It's a 50% price adjustment, and you have to buy them in pairs of 2. And it's restricted to people who are tagged Silver Friend. And as I say, Brighton don't apply this offer to all the shows. It's only shows that have opted in, and that process of opting in is all handled in Eventotron. So the next thing is, we saw that people with the tag Silver Friend get those benefits. I'm just showing you this tag and the settings for it in customer reports. So there's the customer facing bit of information about it. The color, that's where we say that people with this tag don't need to pay a booking fee. And the ticket entitlement is 10 sets of 2 for 1, so that's 20. And it drops off after a year. We don't currently do auto renewing subscriptions, but we will do probably by the end of the year. So we'll handle renewals for you of your friends. So let's say I wanted to make someone a member, just finding my own account again. Tagged as a Silver Friend. So now I have all those benefits when I buy tickets through Brighton Fringe. In this case, I have to log in because it's I'm tagged as a customer in that way. But obviously, you don't want to be manually tagging people. You want it to automatically happen when they buy something. So back in add-ons, the add-on that triggers that are these Silver memberships. So if someone pays £35, I get sent an email with all that information in. And the key thing here is that instead of creating a promo code, it puts the tag Silver Friend on my account. So that means it all happens automatically. So if someone buys this SKU from the merchandise page, their account gets tagged as Silver Friend, and they then stop paying booking fees, and they have 10 pairs of tickets that they can claim. So I'll just show you how that works from the customer's point of view, I think. Yeah, so as a customer, I log in either from there or during the checkout process, I'll be prompted to log in. There you go. Again, I think I have a password for this account, but if I didn't, won't be a problem. And there we go. Similar to when I showed you on our demo site, it's showing that I'm a Silver Friend. There are my benefits. So now I'm logged in. If I go and buy a ticket, just showing you some of the filters that are built into our plugin as well. So you can set up a filter to show tickets which have a certain offer on. So we're only showing shows which have the 2 for 1, which are taking part in the 2 for 1. If I click on that and try and buy a ticket, you'll see that I can buy the Silver Friend ticket price. It's half price. I have to buy it in pairs, but I can do that. So if I wasn't logged in at that point, I wouldn't see that ticket. Or if I was logged in but wasn't tagged as a Silver Friend, I wouldn't see that. Okay, so 2 more sections to show you, I think. Vouchers and credit. So you can sell vouchers to people, and they can either claim those vouchers themselves or they can gift them to other people. We briefly saw where you edited that in. So if I wanted to add credit to someone, maybe we'd done something wrong. I think in this case, I'm going to say that they ruined my coat. So I'm going to give them some credit to use against tickets in future. So I can do that in the back end of Eventotron. Sorry about damaging your frock. Make sure it's on notes. So when it expires, I just save that. So now that credit is on my account. So again, I log in. And you can see that goodwill credit at the bottom there for £10. The way I claim that, when I go to buy a ticket, I then, at the next step, I can choose how much of that credit I want to use for this purchase. So if someone had multiple credits on their account, they can combine them together. They don't have to use the credit for everything. You'll notice I'm not paying a booking fee because I've logged into my account and we've still got that no booking fees thing on there. So yeah, so that's if you want to add credit as a box office person or someone running the festival. If you want to sell a voucher, it's in a similar way to the things. Looking at the voucher setup there, if someone buys that £10 voucher, it just creates a £10 credit on their account. So what happens then is that person can use that credit automatically, but they'll also be emailed a code which they can give to whoever they want to gift that voucher to, and then that person can claim that. So we're just going through the process of buying a voucher here. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say there. Yeah, so the place where they claim that voucher, if it is being gifted, is just within their account. I think we saw it previously to the bottom of the account page. Okay, so last section to show you, a bit different to offers. This is quite new for us, but it's up and running. If you want your seating plans, maybe give us a shout, because the quirks with how you build the plans. But I think you'll see that we've done quite sophisticated stuff with it. So this is a show at the moment. It's just general admission. Anyone can sit wherever they want. But let's have a look at how we create a seating plan for that show. So we go to the venue that it's in, which I think is called Test Village Hall. Yeah. And down the bottom there, create a new template for the venue. We'll just call it standard. We'll add in some more rows and columns. Yeah, how many seats you're building there? It's all pretty straightforward, I think. Just zoom in a bit. We'll let's pop the stage in there so we can see where it is. So we'll just drag and drop. There's a stage. Another column. You can get much more advanced with this. We'll show you one in a second. But obviously you can take out seats or take out rows, drop in tables, and you can specify which kind of tickets a particular seat can have. And we'll show you shortly how that means you can do some quite advanced things. But this is just a very simple example. So we'll go back to that show that we looked at in Eventotron, and we'll just go, we've saved that seating plan. So let's edit that performance, and let's say, instead of being unallocated, that performance is going to be with our standard seating plan. And that's all you have to do. It's asking us if we want to apply that to all performances of that show. Let's say no for now. And then we go back to buy tickets. Now, instead of just choosing a concession or a full price, I choose an actual seat. But I still obviously can choose different prices for that particular seat. So just to show you that that can get much more sophisticated, we'll look at a real life example from Brighton. Ladyboys Bangkok. This is a much more of a cabaret seating type setup, and it has quite complicated pricing of different days and different tables cost more, different seats, different tables. Some allow you to sell a concession for it, some don't. So obviously there's a much more complicated seating plan arranged around tables. We're not selling all the seats, we're only selling a selection of them. That's a platinum seat, but this seat is standard, and you can also do a concession for that. So that's just to show you can get some really quite sophisticated seating plans out of it. And that is it. Thank you very much for listening. There's a few things we haven't covered. There's things like we haven't looked at doing streaming shows, which is quite easily done. Like, in fact, you're kind of looking at a streaming show now, in that you get the ticket with a link to where you go to see that show, and it can be live or it can be on demand / archive. We haven't looked at things like adding specific notes to a ticket or during the checkout for a particular show. So if you needed to say, for example, that a show was up some steep stairs or didn't have comfortable seating, or you needed to bring a Mac or something like that, you can build that into the checkout flow as well and add it to the ticket. There's also things like automated ticket reminders, which will go out in advance of the show. Yeah, so we've covered a lot, and I've gone on for much longer than I said I would, so I apologise. But hopefully